Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Experience Podcast. You know the next steps. Hit that notification bell and also subscribe. Those of you on the YouTube and many of you who are listening on the go that are on iTunes, it would mean the world to me to leave that 5-star rating. And as you know, here on these episodes, I do simple experience share as an entrepreneur investor in the industry, shifting from construction to single family to multifamily, and I bring on other high successful investors in the industry. So I've got James, who is on at this moment, and I was going to go into his last name. Could you help me out with the last name there?
James Kandasamy.
Okay, perfect. He is the CEO at Achievement Investment Group. He's syndicated well over, I would say, just under 10 deals, over 10 deals.
Syndicated 9 deals.
Okay, 9 deals, just over 1,300 units, and his valuation size of his portfolio is just over 100 million. In addition to that, he is also an author of Passive Investing in Commercial Real Estate. So welcome to the podcast, James.
Hey, Sterling, happy to be here. I mean, I've seen your blogs and your content on Bigger Pockets, and happy to be finally chatting with you.
Yeah, and while we're shooting this, we're in the midst of the whole COVID-19, the virus
the peak.
Going on, but as you see, and as yourself too, we're still pushing. And one of my philosophies is, yes, during this time you can contract, but I believe during these tough times really shows you who you become.
Yeah. Don't wish it's easy. I wish you were better.
Okay, love it. Already dropping bombs. So
absolutely.
Could you give the audience your, let's say, 5 to 10% that's ultimately shaped you to where you are? You can start with childhood or, go where you want with that.
Well, I think it's about, childhood and, how you come up in life, right? I mean, we are not a well-to-do family when we started up. I'm one of the first one to go to college in my family.
Okay.
And
where are you from originally?
I'm from Malaysia.
Oh wow. Okay.
In Southeast Asia, so it's just near to Singapore. So I come from there, and family of 5, and when I was in college, I was always trying to sell shirts to my people and to my colleagues and students and out there, always trying to do some business, right? So trying to do workbook, physics workbook where I printed and wrote myself and sold to people, So I forgot about the shirts until recently. One of my friend reminded me, "Hey, you sold shirts." I started to say, "Really? Okay, now I remembered why I have this entrepreneurship spirit, right?" And did a lot of different types of job, love challenges. Even when I was working W2, I always like to go into companies which has department. I mean, I like to go to departments within a company where it's like a startup mode, right? Where things are a lot of problematic, right? Because I like to go and solve the problem. And once it becomes stable, it becomes too boring.
Gotcha.
Right? So like challenges, like to solve issues. And, real estate is very, very challenging. It's very, very creative problem solving as well in real estate. And that's what I enjoy most.
Okay. And how'd you exactly get into real estate? You mentioned you were in W2, and then did you read a book, or how did that transition, or why real estate for you?
I'm not like most people out there where Robert Kiyosaki book changed their life.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong with that, but I read like Robert Kiyosaki book, like, maybe like 10 years ago. And after a few pages, I threw it away because, when you're in a W2 job, your mindset about business and all that doesn't really click in, right? Because you're busy working, right? You're busy working.
Gotcha.
And we talked about this guy talking about investors, completely out of my circle of thoughts at that time, right? And I said, this doesn't make sense. I'm never going to do a business, right? Because I'm working all the time. I see people around me all working, right? So why just continue working, right? These business guys are crazy, right? So why are they doing business, right? How do they make money, right? It's too risky, right? So I threw away Robert Kiyosaki book, when I first read it, even though I recently reread it and it makes a lot more sense. But
you probably broke so many people's hearts when you said it.
Yeah,
like, oh,
I know.
No, you threw it away.
I don't know. Every podcast I listened, everybody got started. I read the Robert Kiyosaki book, and that opened my eyes. Well, I can tell you the other way around, right? Just to give you guys direct perspective on, it depends on where you are in your circle of friends, right?
Gotcha.
If your circle of friends, everybody's working and busy with work, and they think they're the smartest guy out there, they're not going to listen to one one book is going to completely change their life, right? Unless you met someone who has been very successful real estate and you read that book, and then it makes a lot of sense. But I'm just being honest there. But I had a friend who was buying rentals every year, one rental a year, and I was
Single
trying to
family, multifamily, or
single family.
okay.
So I was trying to do stocks and trying to solve the biggest puzzle in the world, and every time I go in, I keep on failing because stocks plays with a lot of your fear and greed, right? It's a lot of emotion. I mean,
You mean you were trying to beat the market? Is that what you mean
yeah,
by
yeah.
the
I'm trying to
stocks?
beat the
Okay.
market, right? I'm a electrical engineer guy, and we think we can solve everything out there. And we think let's go and solve it. How difficult would it be? So I bought all the technical analysis book and tried to chart. But every time I do that, whenever you have your fear and emotion involved, which is a lot of times in stocks that happens, you fail, right? Because your fear, you can never control your emotion, right?
Mhm.
No matter how technical you are. So, but I saw, so I gave up on stocks because I keep on losing money. And I read an article once where the article clearly said 98% of individual stock players never make money, right? So,
Really?
yeah, I was okay. That makes sense because all the big guys are playing us out, right? So all the REITs and big guys are playing us out, and you can see very clearly on stock trading because especially when you buy these highly volatile stocks, the early part of the morning, it huge fluctuations, goes up or goes down, and then people like me who doesn't know what we are doing. There may be
Gotcha.
some guys who think they know what they're doing, but that's okay in stocks, right? Because it's a lot of it is not controlled by you. It's somebody else controlling the whole market,
Hmm.
right? Yeah. After I read that article where 90% of the people never make money by skill in stock, I gave up on stock. So I met a guy who's my friend who bought one house per year, and I started doing calculation. You probably make like 9% every year just by cash and cash on a single family, right? Which I thought was really good money, right? Yeah. I mean, rather than stocks, and I'd rather do real estate.
Or your money in the bank too. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Money in the bank is too boring for me, right? You get like 1%, and it's not this.
I mean,
You
less
don't.
than 1%, but yeah.
Yeah, I
And it
don't know.
may
Yeah,
go negative sometime
may go
soon.
negative. Yeah, the thing is, I don't feel if I'm not in control of the money, I don't feel like putting that money there, right? Because I can't really control it, right? What's the point of giving it to someone else and let them control? So yeah, that's where I started doing single family because I saw this guy doing once a year and 9% without doing much. That's pretty good money.
Okay. And in terms of, I really want to go into the mindset because
Hmm.
when you
Hmm.
made that shift from stocks and you saw your friend doing it, did you have any limiting beliefs at that time to where, okay, I need a large amount of cash, or maybe real
Hmm.
estate's not for me from reading that book? Or was there any limiting beliefs that you had to get through before getting that first deal?
Limiting belief is like, well, I mean, the limiting belief is you can buy one house at every 1 year or 2 years, right? So it was fine with me. I mean, I just said, okay, let's do one house at a year.
Okay. Gotcha.
But the biggest limiting belief was, which is a aha moment for me, is like, I'm in Austin, and in Austin, for the money I have, I think I had like 50,000 when I started, right? So
Okay.
I think Austin prices at that time, this is like 2013, was 100,000 a door average house price in
All
Austin.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Just the
crazy, right?
minimum. And
Just
was
the
that the
well, it was
war
pretty good
zone?
house near
Okay.
downtown or good place. I mean, average was like 200,000, but the houses where you can give for rentals like 100,000. So 25% is like 25,000 a year, right? I can buy one house a year, and if I had 50,000, I probably can buy two. But I was thinking. Then someone told me, why not you buy in San Antonio, which is 2 hour drive from and there. And I said, I'm not going to San Antonio. That's too far, right?
Hmm.
Then when someone told me a very interesting sentence, he said, if you can make $40,000 by driving 2 hours away, why not you do it, right? Then I realized, oh my God, why I'm being
He
so lazy,
created some
right?
logic.
Yeah, why I'm being so lazy to create that $40,000. I mean, sometimes people don't want to drive that 2 hours just because they think, oh, it's too far out. But if you can make that much money somewhere
Gotcha.
in another city, which is not in your city, but it's just nearby city, you have to drive and back and forth, right? And that was a big limiting belief, which changed my mindset. I can buy in San Antonio for a much cheaper price. I can buy a lot more houses. So I came back and did my calculation with 50,000. How many houses can I buy? And so I realized I can buy maybe like 5 to 6 houses instead of 2 houses in Austin, right?
Gotcha.
So
So you mentioned you were traveling. Were you self-managing
yeah,
or
we were self-managing all our single family. Yes, correct.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's just that limiting belief of that you cannot do things somewhere else for a much larger gain, right? So and yeah, that was one big limiting belief that was removed from me, that you can buy in the nearby cities and make more money compared to just buying like 1 or 2 houses in your local city.
Okay. Well, let's go into so I
Mhm,
know that we're talking about limiting beliefs, and one of the
mhm,
philosophies I have is it's about 90% mindset and then the rest of
mhm.
mechanics. What new belief or let's say habit that you formed in the last 2 years that has really helped, that's been a game changer for you personally?
Well, I don't know whether 2 years ago or not, but but my mind change has changed when I was on a W-2 job, and also on when I want to move from single family to multifamily, right? I started in single family in 2013, moved to multifamily in 2015. So that was a big mindset
Okay.
shift as well, because now you're going from 1Z 2Z houses to like 50 units apartment complex, right? So yeah, it was just the habit is just to believe that you can do it, right? So sometimes if you put a mental block on yourself, you definitely can't do it. But if you can create that thought and vision that you can do it, and visualize that you are going to have that property in your
Gotcha.
hand, that can definitely make sense out of it.
And it sounds that what really helped and provided the fuel for you was that whole entrepreneur spirit where
Mhm.
you knew that, okay, instead of, and even if there is a barrier for you, that it's just
Mhm.
another problem for you to solve. Is that, would you say
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the,
it's just much larger problem which you can solve, right, with your skills, right? So yeah, basically you can do it if you find the right way to do it or find the right avenue to do that.
and so what were the reasons why you made the shift from single family to multifamily?
Primarily because of scalability. Single family has a lot of it's like one house at a time, right? So in
I had
one house.
150 at one point and sold out all, yeah. So I know.
Oh my god! After 10, I gave up on single family. We had like 13 single family, right? Two of it were flip, 11 were rental, and after 10, for the 11 one, I moved all my money into a portfolio loan, right? Commercial loan, and we tried to refi. We refied a few times, and we took out money, but basically, yeah, single family, there's just too much work.
Yeah.
I mean, you can build a scale, you can build a team to do it and all that, but it's just too much work for too little money.
And so you had the single families. Do you still have those?
I have two more actually.
Okay, and then from single family, did you jump right into, let's say, 100 unit,
No, we
75, or
went
has
from
that?
single family to 45 units,
Okay,
which we recently just closed after 4 years owning it.
all right. You mean you went full cycle on it?
Yeah, we went full cycle on it.
Okay, gotcha. And so with that is, how are you finding deals? Because I know one niche that you have in
Mhm,
your book, and one topic you talk about is
mhm.
yellow letters or just going off market. So do you buy from brokers off market? What's your strategy?
We like to buy off market directly from sellers. That's the best strategy to find a good deal in this market cycle. And
I agree.
even for newbie, right? Whoever want to start it, right? Forget about talking to brokers and getting a deal from them. They probably not giving you a deal, or you are the highest paying guy out there,
So how
right?
does that look for you? What channel is it? Direct mail, cold call, mix?
In the beginning, when I started, it was I mean, I know we call it yellow letter, but it's not really. We don't send yellow letter to apartment owners. We send the white letters, right, with a nice
Fair
signature.
enough.
But I do a lot of cold calling and cold texting.
Okay, gotcha. And that's been one of my favorites is the
Mhm,
whole cold calling
mhm.
and are you cold calling now at the time that we're currently in? What are
No,
you
no,
telling your team?
we are not doing that anymore. In the beginning, to get
Oh,
started, we did all that, but after that, then the once you do have 1 or 2 deals under your belt, the brokers start giving you through off market deal, right? So before that, they give you
gotcha.
all the deals that nobody wants, even though they call it off market. But once they know you're a true player, they start giving you true off market deal. But still, I do get a lot of deals off market, through brokers and sometimes through sellers as well, just because we have I have people know us pretty well. They know that we we are players in this market in Central Texas, Austin, San Antonio, and they bring deals to us as well.
Gotcha. And so for you yourself, how does that work? Because you mentioned you're vertically integrated. So
Mhm.
did you build your own property management company while you were doing the acquisitions too?
Yes, yes, correct. Which is crazy, right? So
I did. I was like, gosh, it's an absolute animal. I mean,
it's
property
absolutely,
management in itself.
yeah. Property management is an animal by itself. Even though people do not know much about it, but that's where the engine of you making the money, right? I mean, unless the market is supporting behind your back, you have strong demand behind you. Property management is the way to make money for your investors, right? And yeah, we build our property management company from single family and then go to 45 units, and then now we have like almost 1,700 units right now.
Okay, got. And how does your team look like? I know you're the CEO, and then who are the key principals at your company in it?
My wife and I,
Okay,
she's the CEO and I'm the CEO, and everybody else works for us. We have like almost 40 employees working
gotcha.
for us. We don't have any other GPs on our deals.
So you don't use GP. Oh, so you're the main lead sponsor, and do
Mhm.
you still do you? Well, yeah, you do syndicate your deals.
Yeah, I do
Yeah, yeah.
syndicate all my deals, all my passive investors, but we don't have any other partners other than my wife and I. Right. Yeah. So these are we have key principal to sign on the loans, but no real partners, right? Even though we are open for partnership as well as we get bigger, right? But yeah, that's how we build our vertically integrated company. We have asset management, property management, construction, everything in house, and we're just doing
Wow.
it ourselves. We raise the money ourselves as well.
Yeah. So one thing I'm curious on, it's actually isn't
Mm-hmm.
one of my normal questions, but
Mm-hmm.
I see that you push yourself out there into the marketplace as far as a brand. So my
Mm-hmm.
question to you is, how much of a you believe a personal brand allows you to be able to attract investors or just be able to get business in general?
I don't know. In my case, my personal brand really didn't attract any passive investors, but my passive investors almost like I have like 228 passive investors, and all of them came from a lot of them from word of mouth,
Oh, gotcha.
right? Just
Okay.
because we do a damn good job on our deals, so people just keep
Fair
on
enough.
telling it, right? So even though I have a big big Facebook group, or I have a really good podcast presence and all that, I don't there's very very few people who came from that channel, right? And I have my own book as well on passive investing. I mean, recently I started, all that is recent, right? All that's maybe like 1 year ago, right? But we have been
Okay, gotcha.
we have been doing this for past 5 years, and we already bought like what 1,300 units 4 or 5 years ago, right? So without any of this channel, all this has just recently started just for us to share our knowledge and put ourselves out. I'm sure you and Bigger Pockets, you have never seen me in the past 4 or 5 years.
No, I haven't. No.
I know, right? but
I looked at, I was
but
like, oh, this is pretty cool. He's doing some cool things.
yeah, but we are doing much larger deal, and a lot of people in Bigger Pockets, right? So I mean, I love the Bigger Pockets. I started learning from there when I did my single family, um but yeah, we have been doing this for 4 or 5 years with word of mouth passive investors, and now we have a lot more people who are interested, but our major engine of passive investment came from just having a good track record of our
Gotcha.
deals.
So when you started, did you use your own cash? Did you use friends and family, and then you started to branch out from that? How did that work when you were
It's
just getting
always been
started?
friends and family, right? We usually do 506B, just building the relationship with passive investors.
Okay.
And we always invest in our deal. We have a significant amount of money into all our deals.
Gotcha. And in that, what's the general structure? Is it just straight equity for your deals or
Yeah, we
preferred
usually
return?
do something called a carried interest, which is 80% to limited partners, 20% to passive investors. And it depends on the deal, right? So how
Yeah,
we do it, right?
understood.
That's what we do.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and go into some rapid fire questions. Some of these will be definitely a little bit out there.
Sure.
So you mean I've never been
Oh,
asked that before.
no,
So
hopefully sparks are flying now. I can see it
so,
already.
so the first question, James, is
Sure.
what is one unusual habit or absurd thing that you love?
Maybe diving. I like to
Okay.
dive.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't
What
know whether
is,
it's absurd or not, but I do that. That's something
yeah,
out of the ordinary that I do.
mine is bird watching, if that helps.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, cool.
Yeah. So when I was in college, just a quick story is
You keep on
I,
looking on the sky, and somebody people might be thinking this guy is thinking a lot.
yeah, yeah. Or I'm going around with binoculars. They're like, what is this guy doing?
You must be a tourist.
But
Go ahead.
in
Mhm.
college, I ended up the only thing that I got was ornithology, which is the study of birds. That was
Oh,
the only
really?
class I enjoyed. Where in college, I didn't enjoy waking up for morning classes, but I enjoyed this one where we would
Uh,
just go off on like go to parks and just have
uh,
binoculars and study birds. Totally,
wow,
yeah. So
that's cool.
and
That's cool.
the next, what is
Mhm.
a common myth that you can debunk that you hear in the industry?
There's no deal out there.
Okay,
There's
gotcha.
absolutely deals out there. I mean, if you think there's a deal out there, there's absolutely a deal. If you think there's no deal out there, absolutely there's no deal.
Yeah, that's a abundance mindset, you would say, though.
Yeah.
Abundance versus scarcity. And is
Yes.
it the quote that says, a man who thinks he can,
Hmm.
and a man who thinks he can't? It's
Yeah,
simple as
absolutely.
that.
That's I took it from there, but it just follows to the deal mindset, right?
What is one common reason you see people failing or give up?
Lack of persistence and thinking that this is that was the bird that you watched just now, I guess. I'm not sure whether you heard that.
Oh,
Uh,
no.
okay, the bird sound came in through the computer.
Was that
So
an eagle?
it was the eagle, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did hear that then. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Correct. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's just I lost the question. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. What is gosh, I forget. One common, you said consistency with people failing or
Yeah,
persistent?
just persistency. Yeah, just being, just not being persistent, right? Sometimes people try one thing and after that they let it go, right? Even finding a deal or finding investors or raising money or what, it's just you need a lot of persistence to get things moving and make it big.
Okay. And the last one is, why do you believe that we're here on Earth?
To make a difference in other people's life,
Okay. All righty. Love it.
right? You have to make an impact to other people's life. Otherwise, there's no point coming to this earth and going back.
I love it. Okay. And so how can people find you, James?
Oh, I'm everywhere. I'm in Facebook. We have a group called Multifamily Investors Group, which is almost 5,000 people right now.
Wow.
We focus a lot on multifamily, and you can see a lot of me there. I'm in LinkedIn, James Kandasamy. My website is achieveinvestmentgroup.com, ACHIEVE, like achieving a goal, achieveinvestmentgroup.com. My email is james@achieveinvestmentgroup.com. And that's how people can find me.
Okay. Awesome, James. Pleasure having you on the podcast. Really did truly appreciate it, especially during these times that we're in. You able
Yeah,
to
I know,
take
it's
the
crazy.
time. And one thing I want to mention to you is be safe, and everyone will post this at a later point too. So I'm sure that we'll all still be here, and be safe to everyone too.
Will do. All right. Thanks, Sterling, for having me on the show.
Thank you, James. All right. Nice. Thanks for listening to The Real Estate Experience. If this has brought you any value, please subscribe and leave a 5-star rating. It would mean the world to me. Now go out there and crush it.